disappointing season in Winnipeg. Several Jets players have expressed their frustration over the past couple days. Brendan Dillon weighs in today.
I think if you were to ask all 23 guys in that room if we'd be in this situation right now, I think I don't think there'd be one. Yeah, this is where we thought we'd be. This is even close to where we thought we'd be. To know where it went wrong or to point the finger at something, I don't know if it's one thing. We have a bunch of unbelievably talented, our roster top to bottom, it just looks like we've got everything we need. The goaltending, the defense, the scores, the checkers. And then again, to put my finger on one thing, why, I don't know, I wish I could tell you. The definition of insanity, we all know is, having the same group or doing the same things or the same whatever it might be and expecting something different. And that's not to say that, it means that we need to trade 10 guys, or it doesn't mean that we need to, again, there's a lot of those decisions are above my pay grade. It does feel like a waste of the year when you think about what could have been.
Sounds like a few of the Jets might think there is some change on the horizon coming in Manitoba. We got some change to the broadcast crew, along with Jesse Rubinoff, Ken Reid, Tim McAuliffe. We have got Anthony Stewart, who joins us from the NHL on Sportsnet studios, just over there. What's going on, Stewie? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. Where's the trophies?
We got a new one. It's above your head on the set. My wife gave it to Tim.
It's
Nice.
the Tolerating Ken Reid Award.
That's the best one. That's the best one of them all.
Hey, when you hear Brendan Dillon say that, does that mean we didn't change the game plan all year long? What does that mean?
Yeah, I think it was he was doing the Denny Lemieux thing, trade me right now. But again, there's some finger pointing there, and I think they're alluding to probably some stuff that's going on in the dressing room or the coaching staff. But he made a perfect point saying, like, that team is too talented to not be in the playoffs. But I think the main factor was Connor Hellebuck, facing the most shots in the last 3 years, 65 starts, just too much on the body right now. So there's going to be some changes in the offseason with the Jets right now, but what do they do? And I know its fingers are pointing to Scheifele and all that, but he's still a star player in the league. But you're looking at the roster and just sort of where that Central Division is, they should be a lot higher than they are now.
You look at some of those salaries and you wonder how many pieces are moved. That's why I think a lot of people are pointing at Scheifele, because he's one that you could move. Like, I don't know if you can move Blake Wheeler at a $8.25 million tag right now. You got Kyle Connor, and I think that's a guy that you want to keep. But, like, how many Scheifele's a guy that you want to keep in my mind, but how many moves can they actually make?
Yeah, not many. And, you're looking at just sort of the hot mic moments over the year right now, and there just seems something's amiss in the dressing room and with the group. And it's easy to point the fingers at Scheifele, but I still think he's a star in the league. But I think some players just need a fresh start. And him at $6.5 million, I think for the next couple of years, I think he's really attractive to a couple teams right now. But let's not say he's the problem in Vancouver. It's just not working out, this group together that's currently constructed. They need to find a way, and they addressed in the offseason thinking it was going to be some of the defense. They brought in Schmidt and some other guys, but it's just something just seems amiss. And it could be just blame it on another quote-unquote COVID year. But there's high expectations in Winnipeg, and they're going to have to make something, make a change sooner than later.
Stewie, I like the little pause that Dillon had there before he answered his question. Like, oh, okay, I could say this, but I'm going to say this. As a player, when you were asked questions, did you take that moment to pause? And did you know I could really blurt something out here? Like, is there an art to that? Because it looked like he wanted to say a lot.
Well, at the beginning of the year, David Amber asked me, so why don't you think Vancouver Canucks are going to make the playoffs? And I literally was caught off guard, and I took a pause, and it gave me a second to sort of collect my thoughts. So, you're listening to the hot mics. Some other players had that same moment where they didn't want to say, too much. So I think that's alluding to some of the stuff behind the scenes that maybe or may not come out at a later time. But for a group to be this talented with the Ehlers, the Scheifeles, the Wheelers, who started off fairly slow and having a good season offensively, you're looking at the guys that scored 20 goals this year. What is wrong? Is it systems? Is it the specialty teams? Is it the mix of the group that they have? Are they not bringing in some younger guys? I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, and that's why you're saying, well, as opposed to identifying it, I think they just got to make some changes and move on from some guys.
All right, so you mentioned Vancouver, and they are officially eliminated from the postseason last night. And there are a lot of people that looked at what they did under Bruce Boudreau and thought, okay, well, that shows something's there. Do you believe that?
Bruce, there it is. Next question. And and just seeing what he brought, they brought him in and they identified him as a coach to come in and really blend and really make a good positive impact on this group. And just looking at the record pre and post Travis Green, it just shows that this guy is the right coach for this group. And he's not a big X's and O guys, but he connects with the players and he gets the most out of them. And you're looking at Hughes and Batherson, you know, they finished fairly strong. JT Miller's emerged as one of the leaders. And I know they have some questions in the offseason. Who are they going to move? They got to shed some salary, but they got Demko. Maybe they got to bring another guy in to really play some more games to really, you know, lessen his load as well. But right now, I think Vancouver, if they do some off-season tinkering, I think they'll get back into the mix next year. But it was a success the way they finished under Bruce Boudreau.
Did the Ottawa Senators have a succerful season? I mean, we knew they probably weren't going to go to the playoffs, but we kept saying they're going to get better. They're going to get better. And in a year or two, they're going to be good.
Well, Berkey said it best. You either sell wins or you sell hope. And I think they've been the best in the National Hockey League in selling hope with some of the young guys that they've had. And you know, you're seeing Stutzel right now ruffle a lot of feathers. This guy's going to be a star. They got Batherson. They got some of these young guys that are really stepping up. And you know, you saw Tkachuk right now. He is a star. So I think they got to add some more veteran pieces. And you know, they got a good goaltender in Forsberg as well too. So the future is bright. So do they need to bring in a couple more veteran guys? Maybe, maybe not. But I'll use this opportunity to say free DJ MDZ. Del Zotto's one of those guys. I know he's at a $2 million cap hit, but he's eaten a lot of crap over the year, but he's a solid player as well with 1 year left right now. So I think next year, I think they got off too bad of a start to really catch up. But I think next year they can probably challenge for a playoff spot as well.
I love that Drake Batherson goal.
Where is he from?
He's from Nova Scotia.
From the six.
Yeah, I just wondered where he might have been from.
And listen, I bring that Drake Batherson goal up because it's fantastic.
Does Batherson have any family?
Stewie, we know throughout the National Hockey League, family ties are prevalent, right? There's lots of guys with cool dads and cool uncles. I think, boys, Drake Batherson has the two coolest uncles in the game. First up, former tough guy, Dennis Vial. Right. There's Denny. You didn't mess with Denny back in the day. But also, Drake's great uncle, East Coast rock and blues legend Matt Minglewood. If you're from down home, you know Matt Minglewood because the Minglewood makes it good. Matty's like the nicest guy on the block, and he can rock.
Makes it good.
He can rock. Matty can rock. And you know my childhood hero.
I thought that was Carlos Santana for a flash.
Matt's my Carlos Santana. And let me tell you this. You know my buddy Teapot from down home, the junior C star?
Yeah.
Every year at the beer garden at the Pictou Lobster Carnival? T always takes a couple hours to check out Drake's uncle, Matt Minglewood, because he rocks it at the carnival.
I think it's a lot easier and quicker just to say he's related to Drake Aubrey Graham. I think that the viewers would like to hear that.
Matt Minglewood, baby.
What's the name of it? It's the what lobster?
Pictou Lobster Carnival.
The Pictou Lobster
Matt Minglewood often plays it. I golf with Matt sometimes in the summer. Stewie, you should come down. You'd fit in with that mustache. Lots of mustaches in Pictou.
A lot of Nacho Libres down there.
Listen, I don't want to make this a deep breath and think about your answer type question, but we were talking about the Hart earlier today, and it seems like we're now, are we in your mind down to 2?
I think you're down to 1, and with Auston Matthews hitting 60 goals, I think it's a done deal that he gets it. And I think there's been an abundance, I use that term a lot lately, of just offense right now. You're seeing McDavid and Gaudreau, 112 points, Huberdeau with all those assists, and Shesterkin. There's really not really an appreciation for 60. And I was there when Stamkos scored his 60 and Ovechkin back in the day. And that was 10, 12, 15 years ago where they didn't have the goaltending and the video and the preparation that they do now. So to be doing this in 2022, especially with the start that he had where he was pretty off to a pretty good slump to start, he might score 70. He might score 70 plus. So I know a lot of the fans out of the Toronto market don't want to hear that, but this is a special player, a special talent. And, you know, you're seeing the excitement from all the coaches and brass there, too. He is a very, very special player. And I think you got to show an appreciation for him, too. I think he's going to go down as probably one of the greatest American scorers in NHL history.
You guys know that I hate splitting hairs because there aren't many to split. But when you're splitting hairs of greatness, you got to get down to the nitty-gritty. And he's just the third guy to do this since 2000, score 60, right? Yeah. And McDavid got to 120. This is what I said earlier in the show. There are 6 guys that have done that. Like, if you just look at that, I mean, it is unbelievable what both of them have accomplished. But I think I'm with Stewie. I think Matthews is the Hart Trophy
I
winner.
think with the 60 you have to. I love the. Like, what's Nedeljkovic supposed to do on that? Everyone's just, let's collapse to the top of the blue paint, and Matthews just strolls down Broadway and lets that one rip. It's so nice to have this debate though, and to kind of not know. Although I think 60 is the magic number. It's
Let's
such a
put this in
magical
perspective.
number.
I don't think I had 60 goals in my career. So I know that's not saying much, but I have an appreciation for just the release and how he's scoring the goals different ways. And any way you dice it, regardless if you're a fan, if you're a true hockey fan, you appreciate 60 goals in 2022.
Absolutely.
Jesse's got something
So
for
I just wanted to think back to when Stamkos scored 60. Like, he didn't win the Hart that year. So I went back and looked at the stats, and he had 97 points. He had 60 goals. But Malkin that year had 109 points and 50 goals. So do you think because maybe Malkin, I guess, got to the 50-goal plateau, that mattered?
But Crosby was out that year, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the difference.
I don't know the official Carfax on that, but I think he may have had like 25 power play goals that year, because I remember us doing video and they kept on saying, push him to the outside, push him to the outside. And he was scoring one-time goals with his back almost touching the backboards. That's how good of a heater he was on the power play that year, Stamkos, if my memory serves me correct.
Wow.
I don't have the Carfax on that.
I did some research too, guys, about 60 goal scorers.
Yeah.
Did you know that 4 men with the last name M have scored 60 goals in the season?
I know Denny Maroc.
75% of them had mustaches. So I'm just saying, if your name is M and you're in the National Hockey League, grow a mustache. Matthews, mustache, yes. Matt Minglewood has a mustache.
Minglewood, yeah.
Maroon,
Maroc,
mustache.
too,
I can get my buddy Denny in here, and you know who the third one is. Mustaches, hockey. Come on, boys. Lanny.
Oh, Lanny McDonald, yeah.
Name the only player with the last name M to score 60-plus who didn't have a mustache.
That's great. I don't
Rick
have
Middleton.
a reply to that.
No,
That's great.
hint.
It takes a lot in 2022. Other than November, it takes a lot of courage to grow a mustache and wear it freely. So I had the throw tee before, so I switched it up to the goatee instead of the throw tee.
Here's your strong hint: Buffalo Sabres.
McGillney.
McGillney, yeah. No mustache. McGillney, no mustache.
Look at that
young
flow,
Kramer.
though. Oh, my
Nice.
God. You need
What'd
to
you
send
say,
him. Hey, who's the
Kramer?
barber to the
Kramer,
Stars? Who's the barber to the Stars?
Jeff the barber. He needs to check Jeff, as they would say.
he needs
Jeff
to
the
check
barber.
Jeff. Yeah, for sure. Stewie, love you. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.